Kmart so we can buy ponies. OMG, ponies. I remember very clearly and vividly being about 5 years old, and I had a loose tooth, and I put together some math in my head that if tooth falls out, money happens under Tolo. Money equals pony. Pony equal yeah. So I went to my dad's garage, opened up his big, gross, greasy, manly tool thing, pulled out a pair of big, disgusting, rusted pliers, walked up to my mother in the kitchen and just went, And my mom went, "You got to be kidding me." What? She's like, "Okay, we're doing this." Reached in there with the pliers, grabbed a hold of my tooth, and I remember very vividly, it slipped. And she's thinking, this kid is never going to let me try that again. She is never going to pony. And she pulled that tooth out, and she's like, "You know what, get in the car. We're going right now. We're bypassing the tooth fairy, get in the car." I was like, heck yeah, we can play baby ponies, what's up? So yeah, my collection expanded. Every grandparent, every uncle, everybody, gifted ponies. That's what happened. To this day, I'm still getting gifts of ponies from my relatives. I'm like, thank you. I'm a grown woman. And I still love them. My collection expanded to over 180 My Little Ponies, not including repeats, which I just tracked up to calling them twins. When you get a repeat pony, it's a twin. And sometimes you have triplets and quadruplets and quintuplets and octuplets. So yeah, the pony collection got way out of control. If I had to include twins, triplets, or quadruplets and all that, plus the petite ponies, which I'll talk about in a minute, which were quite frankly, now that I think back on it, a ripoff, but hey, I got those too. The petite ponies, including all of those, I would say the collection probably grew to over 230 some odd ponies. When I went to college, I found out that the care and keeping of the ponies that you played with out the backyard, heck yeah, having adventures, let's take them to the beach, let's see water. That's not necessarily what you want to do with your toys, for the longevity of your toys. And I found out about how to care and keep ponies and what will happen to a pony after 30 years. I mean, these toys do degrade. They are made of just vinyl and plastic. So I put myself through an entire year of college just selling My Little Ponies on eBay. I regret going to college and I miss my My Little Ponies. There was a whole variety of ponies. That's the thing, we go to Walmart now, it's all like, look, My Little Pony, and it's this big, right? By the way, this is a baby pony, all right? A baby pony. It cost $5. I want you to notice how much hair is on this toy. That's some thick tailness. That's some beautiful, lovely hair. It's got bangs. And guess what? A cutie mark on both sides. What? So, yeah. I as a, pony person, I walk into the aisle and I look at the ponies now and I'm all like, yeah, $7 for that? It's cute, it's cute. This was $5. It's got cutie marks on both sides. What's up? Also, every month was a new kind of pony, man. I mean, wink and blink ponies, the kind that like they had doll's eyes, so when you lay them down, they go to sleep, and they had the creepiest eyes, like these pinpoint pupils, right? They looked like, they were on some kind of weird drug, but they just stare directly into the soul, and be like, you'll be dead by dawn, just so you know. You can put me to sleep, my eyes will be awake. So, but yeah, you could take them to church, I'd be all like, and sleep, but I'd be like, stop it, she's bored. God, no. But there were ponies that changed color in the sun. There were ponies that had just all kinds of crazy hair, like hair that changed color in the sun. There were ponies that had makeup that would appear and disappear when you put hot and cold water on. And then had these big old ghetto lips, right? And you could take your little Q-tip, and it came with this little sponge thing that looked like a little makeup applicator, but whatever, throw it over. And you could make, just nice lipstick, and it was very classy and very elegant. But then you'd be all like, There were ponies that had eyelashes, and they were the creepiest things I have ever seen. These giant black, not the color of their hair or anything, black, spider-like eyelashes that stuck out like this far from their faces. And it was like, ah! And immediately, the second, like, you know, you let one fall over, those eyelashes would go, and then stay that way forever. So you had these wonky, weird eyelashes on your pony. There were the princess ponies that had sparkle eyes, and they had jewels on their butts, and they had sparkly eyes, little jewels. Once again, the first time they fall over, because ponies were a little unbalanced, they get a scratch, and now you've got this big scratch in the middle of your eye. That's beautiful. Yeah. Also, a note on the thing on their butts. You're going to hear me talk about that a lot, because when I was growing up, there was no word for the thing on their butts. It was the thing on their butts. What's the picture on their butts? It's their butt tattoo. What's the picture on their butts? And that's just how we roll. Now there's the word cutie mark. And I'm like, where have you been all my life, cutie mark? Where have you been all my life? Because we've just been calling the picture on their butts. So yeah. Now, the care and keeping of your ponies. Oh gosh. It depends on what kind of pony you want to collect. Now, they have just come out with the new model ponies, like rock star looking ponies that have tinsel in their hair.
Looks like they have like rave.
Yeah, dude, they're like going to a rave, a sweet rave party. The tinsel you're going to find to be both beautiful and pleasing to the eye and your worst enemy.
Yes, we tried to style hair.
No, here's the thing. Having had so many ponies, the Sweetheart Sisters came out. The Sweetheart Sisters are what the design of like Princess Celestia and Luna are based off of. Longer necks, longer legs, thin, beautiful, just, so pretty. Sweetheart Sisters, and they tended to have the cutie marks all over their ponies. They were modeled after like twice as fancy ponies, which had the cutie mark that covered the entire body, you know? So, the Sweetheart Sisters had sparkly, 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 lovely, lovely, sparkly, sparkly, micro glitter cutie marks all over there, so pretty. And they had tinsel in their hair. Now the thing with tinsel is, lovely to look at, lovely to hold, brush it once if you don't got told. So remember this, when you brush the plastic fiber of a pony's hair, it's got a certain amount of give, right? If you push it or pull it too far, you're gonna notice a little bit of curling, a little bit of sort of a fraying sort of effect. There's not much you can really do at that point. You can try giving them a little haircut. I don't recommend it because giving a pony a haircut decreases the value right off the bat. You can use things like conditioners, nice conditioners, and you can run that through and that'll soften it and that'll cause it to stick to the other fibers of the tail or the mane, and that will cause a smoothing effect. The kink is always going to be there, but you can mask it in that way. But tinsel, being such a thin fiber, it's just a thin sheet that's cut into these tiny, tiny, tiny little rows. Because it is so thin and because it has no give whatsoever, once you've pulled it, that's it. It will stay in that shape. It's like if you were to take a piece of plastic, you know, like from plastic wrap or anything, you know, once you pull it out of its original shape, that's it. That's it, dude. That's it. So if you've got a pony with tinsel, you need to treat that tinsel with love and care. I recommend using your fingers and doing this sort of motion to style the hair. If it comes with a brush, that's cute. Put that in your little collector's box and don't ever touch that pony's hair with that brush. Don't do that, no. Just use your fingers to style it, because once the tinsel's been stretched, there's nothing you can do except for rerouting the tinsel. And trust me, you want nothing to do with rerouting tinsel. Now I've done rerouting hair on some ponies. Quick story, I made a custom pony for my friend Wendy Powell, who's a voice actress. She was complaining to me, we were on vacation together, she was complaining, nobody ever makes me anything, nobody ever brings me anything nice. They're all like, here, sign this, and nobody ever brings me presents, I'm crazy. Talks like that. And I was like, oh, Wendy, I'll make you a present. So I went home and I made a custom My Little Pony for my friend Wendy, and Envy from Full Metal Alchemist, who she voiced. And I was like, Wendy, look, I made you a present. Oh my God! It's Envy! Curse word, expletive, deleted here. This is an all-family show, so I can't say what she actually said. This is the cutest expletive, deleted, pony, expletive scene! Oh my God! And we were rooming at the con together, so it was like midnight. I'm trying to sleep. She's like, yes, Wendy. I love you. I know, Wendy. I love my pony. I know, Wendy. I know, Wendy, go back. About 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. She's doing a show in Canada. And I get this phone call. Hey, Wendy, what's up? I'm so sorry. Why? What's going on? Are you okay? I'm in Canada. how did it break? It gave you a box for it and everything. She's like, I put it in my luggage, and they broke it when it went through customs, and when I opened my luggage, all it was like, I made the clay model of the whole outfit and everything. The clothes had fallen off, and the head had popped off. So apparently she spent the whole con with the pony's head on her finger, and made it talking to the microphone. She's like, my friend Amelie made this pony for me. I'm sorry! So I'll make her a new one day. I love her to death. But yeah, so you can do the rerouting and everything, and you can buy tools online, and you can buy skeins of hair. I have way too much hair that I'm never going to use. So I've just come into the habit of, I've got a lot of cosplay friends, and when they do wig styling, sometimes there'll be, hair left over. I'm like, oh, look at this perfect match to the first edition Moon Dancer. I'm taking that one. So take home a little wig hair, and I have bags of, hair. Bags and bags of wig hair that you can
I can eventually do something with this.
Yeah, eventually I can do that. My boyfriend's like, you're crazy. So, and he did tell me that, it's a good thing you sold all those ponies, because if I had walked into your living room and seen, 230 some odd ponies on a shelf, I probably would have been like, no second date. So, he begrudgingly puts up with my love of pony. Although I caught him watching My Little Pony the other day. The Daring Do episode, he's like, this is cool. Like, he's a feminist studies major. He has a degree in feminist studies. He's all like, this is awesome. These are positive female role models. I love it. I'm like, yes, they are. And the cutie mark thing, though, I'm like, it's a mental word. I'm like, don't say things like that. But man, giant feminist that looks like Hagrid. So I love him. God. But what was I talking about? Oh, tinsel. So if you find yourself a G1 pony and you want to try to restore her, and she's got just a frizz, this cloud of tinsel living above her head, best thing to do at that point is to go ahead and just redo the hair from scratch. And you can go on to pony collecting websites, and there are lots of links available where people are selling tinsels that will match this year model and make a pony. So you can order the hair that you need to recreate this pony, or create your own custom, which is a lot of fun actually, and not weird at all. No, it's actually a lot of fun. Just sitting there and doing I'm going to make 18 different colors of hair. What? Lost me, Hasbro. To take the hair out of a pony, if you ever need to actually reroot the hair, you're going to notice there's a seam around the neck here, right? You're going to take a X-Acto knife, and you need to be very careful when you do this. Most of the time, like this pony here, which once again is not mine, you'll notice that there is a, crack right there. The glue on these ponies, because they are 30 years old, one of two things are going to happen. Either it's sealed so well that you're going to spend an hour just slowly, gently working that knife in between that seam until you can finally twist the head and make the head move freely. At which point you can go and just pop it off. And at that point, if your pony is that well sealed, there's a chance that you will find the glue is still sticky and tacky, and that is so creepy. All right, 30-year-old glue and it's still moist. I'm like, yeah. Or you'll find that the seam already exists. In fact, with this one, it's not my pony, so I'm not going to do it. But more than likely, I could just grab the head, give it a gentle, and pop it right off. At that point, you feel bad because you just ripped the head off the pony. Don't worry, you're about to do her a favor. If the hair is so destroyed that you do need to reroot hair, and that's why you're taking the head off this pony to begin with, go ahead and just chop it all off. Just cut it all off as close as you can get. And at this point, you're going to take a pair of needle nose pliers. You're going to stick it in the head. The hair is glued in there, but it's just a machine goes bang, 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 like a sewing machine. That's how they get it in the holes. And so these little loops of the bottom of each set of hair are sticking through. You're going to grab each of those with your needle nose pliers and pull them through the inside of the head and out. You're just going to sit there going, oh, bored, pulling hair out of this pony's head until it's bald. At which point you can go in and start redoing your hair. With the tail on older model ponies, in fact all of the G1 ponies, I don't know if this is true on the new generation pony because I've never felt the need to rip their heads off yet to find out. The tails were held in. This is actually a piece, this cute little tail right here is actually a longer piece. This is half the length that the actual piece is. So imagine this folded over that way. That's how long it actually is. It is held together in the middle with a metal brad, right? And then both pieces are pulled through the end so that the two pieces make this one tail here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What I just said, good. Now most of the older ponies, especially the adult ponies, had a metal washer, like a little stainless steel washer, and that thing is what kept the tail in place, so that little metal brad that clamps the tail together in the middle would not go through, so it's stable. A lot of times though, that little metal brad would, instead of being this way, would go that way and then shoot straight out, and you'd be like, I'm brushing my pony, I'm brushing my pony. No, your butt, I can seize it, no! And you're like trying to shove it back in there. But because all little kids, let's face it, take their toys into the tub, like that's one of our favorite things, is to take our toys to the tub, let's be honest, water will get in there. What happens to metal when it gets near water? It rusts. You'll notice a lot of times when you collect older generation ponies, they'll be like, no rust stains, no mold stains, blah, blah, blah. You're like, what the hell, a rust stain? Because this thing's got metal in it, and the rust will start to surface onto the vinyl itself. There is very little you can do. Bleach will sometimes get that out. You can try repainting it. You can try matching the pony's color with a little bit of red dye in boiling water. Just take the pony hair gone, all the hair is gone at this point, and put it in boiling water with your red dye and then pull it back out again. And hope that that's masked it a little bit, because these ponies do tend to fade in color over the years. But yeah, you'll also notice that like on older generation ponies, this one is very clean, but the bottom of the feet tends to pick up a lot of dirt, just because, you know, as kids you go clop, 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 clop. That dirt gets in here because this is a very soft, porous sort of vinyl. So you want to watch out for things like dirt marks, brown marks, because ponies tended to fall forward a lot. On the noses, you'll find a lot of times there'll be dark marks, dark spots. Once again, if it's a white pony, a little bleach might be able to get that out. With colored ponies, blues and yellows and pinks and greens and what have you, because there was every color you could imagine and then some. There were stripedy ponies, stripedy. Oh, they were so cool. The only thing you can really do is cover it at that point, because if you try to change the color of the vinyl itself, that's a bad idea. You don't really want to do that. So, if you've just got general dirt buildup, just a very gentle cleanser, like just a little gentle bleach, a little gentle bit of like Dawn dish soap. Dawn is good because Dawn cuts through grease. It does cut through grease, and that's one of the things you want on here, because these ponies are slowly leaking grease. When I say grease, what I mean is they're slowly leaking the substance that causes the vinyl to be soft, right? This is also where we have to talk about pony cancer. Pony cancer is a very real thing, and there is no cure, sad to say. Pony cancer is a lot of that softening element, that the grease, you know, the softening element to the vinyl that makes it squishy and not a rigid, hard toy. A nice soft toy that you can squeeze and go, yay, pony up. After 30 years, it's going to start leaking out of the vinyl, and two things are going to happen. You'll notice two things. One, a discoloration, large spots where either it's gone very white on a colored pony or very strange, sort of, it looks like mold is happening on your pony. Black spots, strange miscolorings. If you notice that on your older generation pony, you must separate that pony from the herd. That pony must go into quarantine, because for some reason, nobody knows why, it will spread. Pony cancer spreads, dude. It is the zombie apocalypse of G1 ponies. The other thing, which is far grosser, and it's still pony cancer, is pony pimples. Once again, because the element that softens the vinyl is slowly leaking out of the plastic, you'll get these little tiny pimples that start to form, and they're just like pimples. And if you go after them, like to try to just make the surface smooth again and try to like hide the fact that there's a pimple there, if you take a little pin and you're gonna, you know, lance that boil, yes, when you poke it, most of the time, there will be a small leak of white liquid. Ew! So yeah, pony zits, dude. If you find a pony that has a pony zit, you must quarantine that pony from the other ponies. I do have, I should have brought him, I had a whole bag full of ponies ready to go, one of which is suffering from pony cancer, and I was like, okay, I was gonna hand him around so you guys could feel him. He is a Big Brother pony.
Oh, is it?
Oh God, and I love the Big Brother ponies so much. They were so cool. They were Clydesdales, the Big Macs, the first Big Macs. But of course, being the racially sensitive 80s, such as they were, my Big Brother pony is a Native American pony whose name is Wigwam. He has a teepee on his butt, and he came with the big chief feather hat. And I'm like, really?
Wow.
As a kid, I didn't think anything of it. Now we're looking at the year 2014, I'm like, that is not okay. That is so not cool. Oh my God. Yeah, so I should have brought him because he is a collector because he is a Big Brother pony. I still have his stupid feather thing and everything. But he is greasy to the touch. And I have to keep him wrapped in a paper towel, and I keep him wrapped in 2 layers of plastic bags in a separate container. All my cancer ponies live in separate containers. I don't want their cancer spreading any faster than it has to. So far, there is no real cure for this. All you can do is quarantine. They're still collectible. They're still lovely to look at. They're still fun, but every now and then I have to take him out and just give him a gentle wash with just a little bit of Dawn cleanser so it cuts through that grease, and then put a little conditioner back in his hair, restyle his hair, wrap him back up, put him back away. I'm not obsessive. Yes?
So is this the same stuff that makes them like have that smell to them? They like
Oh, you mean that awesome every Christmas ever smell? Yes! Every Christmas ever, dude, every birthday, every pony! Pop open that bubble wrap, just go, oh, new pony.
Yeah.
That's what China smells like. I was, yes, that's part of it, because that is so concentrated on new pony, that's what the smell is going to be. It's just, oh, it's such a good smell. You'll notice with collecting ponies, like I said, the first generation ponies that came out had flat foots. After that, they had these little concave feet, and it says on this one, 1984 Hasbro, next foot patent pending, next foot made in, next foot Hong Kong. When I was a little kid, I thought Hong Kong was Equestria. I was convinced that it must be the greatest place on earth, and oh my God, that's where ponies come from. And like the back of all the ponies would have, the containers would have this beautiful airbrush, super girly 1980s style. Like here's all the other ponies you can collect in the set, and you know each one had a name and a bio. It's like, well, yeah, now I gotta get this one and this one and this one and this one, and all these beautiful settings you could put them in and whatnot. And I'm thinking, this is what Hong Kong looks like. Little did I know that there were, you know, small Asian children dying of fumes, you know, making these things as we speak. Let's not kid ourselves, that's what happens. So, yeah, so Hong Kong I thought was the greatest place in the world. My parents didn't understand why I wanted to go to China so bad. I was like, Hong Kong! British Protectorate, let's go! But, yeah, so, but there were so many different kinds of ponies. I want to press home the idea. I just feel like we're getting ripped off for the money on what we're spending on ponies.
Yeah.
The blind bag ponies that we spend, what, $2 to $3 on per thing, you know? You have no idea which one you're getting unless you have the printout of the code. You're sitting there going, I'm like, no. Or you're one of those dudes without a phone on you at the moment. You're like shoving them up to that little hole.
Yeah,
sitting there at the store going, I think it's a princess. I think it's a princess. You open it up, it's just a griffin.
amazing.
We didn't have all that when we were kids. We had petite ponies. Petite ponies were the little blind bag ponies, right? But they had a little base on them, and the base had a little horseshoe cutout in the bottom. And this was because there were petite pony play sets that you could get. And there were castles, there were cars, there were like little trains and stuff. And the thing is, you took those ponies and they were like a key. You plugged them in, you turned them, and stuff happened. What do petite ponies do? I mean, what do blind bags do? Nothing. You know what they do? They get a screw put in their head and turn it into necklaces. That's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah, I had a ton of blind bags because people kept giving them to me, and I gave them to a con to give away. And they're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Does this thing have a key in the bottom that'll turn a castle on?" I don't think so. But with those, it wasn't a blind situation. You got them in sets of 5 or 6. I think it was 6. And they had hair that you could brush. They had pearlescent ones that were beautiful and pearl pretty. They had glow-in-the-dark ones. They had ones that were clear with glitter in them. They had tropical ones, they had holiday ones. It was just, you know, God, there were so many different types of ponies to be had. And now I go to the store and I'm like, well, there's the same pony I bought last month, but they've got a paper hat on now. Yeah, that's worth buying again. Yes, bro. Man, there were just so many different types of ponies, and if you're going to go into collecting the older gen ponies, they're really, you're going to find just a wealth of crazy, awesome stuff. Keep in mind though that G1 ponies, because they are collectible, are expensive. Like I said, I put myself through a year of college selling ponies. A single baby, twice as fancy pony, which was not available in stores. You had to order away for these ponies using pony points, right? The cardboard off the back of all the ponies that you got had a certain pony point number on the back, and I would cut those things out, and I had my little safe, and I would put them in there, and I would unscrew that thing and get my pony points and lay it out, and all the ponies came with this little order form with all the ponies that you could send away for, and like 3 months later they'd show up, and yeah, you were spending a ridiculous amount of money on these ponies, and yeah, they would not sell them to you unless you had the right amount of pony points. And I'm like, oh, I don't care. And they would show up not, you know, in regular pony packaging, but just like that straight from factory, wrapped in plastic, done kind of thing. It's like, oh, they're special. They're like a little cryogenic chamber. And I love it. One of the twice as fancy baby ponies went for $570. A single pony this size. It was a baby sweetberry. It was white with red mane and tail, curly mane and tail, and covered in little strawberries on vines, and it was super, super cute. I still have, well, I had a couple of those. The twice as fancy Mama Dancing Butterflies, one of the ponies that Fluttershy is based off of, it had a baby as well, and I was all like, okay, well, how much does the set go for? And it was like $870 was the top bid on one of those on eBay, and I was all like, I could sell them. So I still have those. But I sent away for a male pony, a big brother pony. So we had the big flock, you know, just, he was so beautiful and big. He was dark blue with this dark blue curly hair and this one white stripe, and he had a bow tie, and his butt pictures were bow ties. And he was the groom to the wedding ponies, and his name was Tucks and Tails. I gave him a haircut because I was stupid. Don't give your ponies a haircut unless you have one in box that you never intend to actually open. If you've got ponies that you intend to play with, cut the hair all you want, whatever, yeah. But always keep that one over here that you never cut the hair on. Just trust me on this. Because had I not cut Tucks and Tails' hair, he would have gone for almost $1,000 for a single pony. But because I gave him a haircut, he only went for about $675. Darn. And it was, you have to describe these things. Does he have, is he in a smoking home? Does he have any kind of rustings? Does he have any mold? Is he showing signs of pony cancer? Has he ever had a haircut? So all this, you know, yes, he has had a haircut. So the woman who gets the pony, she's like, dear Emily Belcher, I don't normally do this because I don't believe in cutting ponies' hair, but wow, this is a really good haircut. I'm like, dude, I know, right? Man, look like a man. Because he came with this giant 1980s perm, and I was like, no, son, no. So, yeah, don't cut your pony's hair unless you have one ready to go to save as your collector's pony. There's also ponies from around the world. When My Little Pony the First Gens stopped being made here in the US, Germany, England, Argentina, lots of Argentinian ponies. They continued on, and you'll notice when if you want to do a little collecting of the older gens, that a lot of those ponies will be named after the same ponies we have here in the States, but there'll be slight color variations. So like the classic Moon Dancer will still have, you know, a white body, still have the horn, still be in the same position and everything, but her cutie mark colors will be inverted and her hair will be inverted. Rather than a red hair with a purple stripe, it'll be purple hair with a red stripe. You're like, what is happening to my world? It's bizarro Moon Dancer. Oh. So those are highly collectible, and because they continue going on over there, there are more varieties of things like the Big Brother ponies available. They had way more male ponies in the UK than we did here in the US. Why would you do it? Oh, excellent. So those are the older generation ponies. I'm not even going to deign to speak about the abomination that was Gen 2. No. Do you know what happened to the Gen 2s? My poor family who thought I would enjoy having Gen 2 ponies in my life. Yeah, I fed them to dogs. I didn't feed them, they got into them. I was like, what's this hair all over the floor? What's it? Oh, Sigma Shelby Labrador Retrievers, who I think are awesome, and I think you're even better because you're eating those ponies and I hate them. You're bad dogs. You're so bad. Here's treats. Good stuff. So yeah, I'm not even going to talk about Gen 2s. I'm sure there is some sort of collectible element to that, but you guys have seen them, right? Yeah. Why would anybody want that in their home? Jesus Christ. There were even pony cousins. Like there was a giraffe pony, and there was a panda pony, and there was a little lammy pony, and there was a lion pony, and it was so cute. There were also flocked ponies. You'll hear about flocked ponies quite a bit. And they were called So Soft ponies, and the commercial had this kid going, that far off, slightly drugged look on a kid's face. It's so soft. Yeah, kid, quit rubbing it on your face because your face has oil, and now that oil is all over that pony's fur. Great, good job. The problem with those ponies is they tend to accumulate a lot of dust just because there's more surface area for dust to land. And because they're so soft, kids wanted to handle them so much. Two things, the flocking would come off, so there'll be big bald areas, and the flocking, absorbs oil from your hand and just holds onto it, so it's got, this discoloration. It's not as cute as it once be. You can clean the flocking off with a little Goo Gone, which is also the same substance I prefer to use when I'm like doing a custom or I'm doing a repaint and I want to clean off the original cutie mark. A little Goo Gone works really good, really good.
And,
yes?
For removing cutie marks, do you use like nail polish remover?
No. You'll see online a lot that, you can use a non-acetone nail polish remover. Yeah, that stuff is made to eat through nail polish, which is a lacquer. You do not want to put, especially acetone-based products, you do not want to put an acetone-based product on this vinyl. It will degrade the vinyl. You'll see it again and again. Just use a little nail polish remover. Don't do that. Get a little Goo Gone. You can get it at Michael's Hobby Lobby, any craft store. It is incredibly gentle. It will not affect the vinyl noticeably. Now, people who do repaints of ponies, another 30 years from now, we might notice a slight discoloring in the area where we put it. But until then, there's no way to really run the test. But it has much gentler properties. But it takes the paint, the original paint, off so quickly that the amount of time the substance is actually on the pony is minimal, as opposed to like with acetone products or nail polish remover, you're sitting there scrub. So you're rubbing this substance into the vinyl, which at this point is a porous substance, right? So you don't want to use that. If you absolutely don't have to. If you're just doing a joke pony to throw away later, yeah, go for it. I don't care. Whatever. Yeah. But if you're working with an older pony, you guys, there's only a finite number of these things left in the world. I'm just saying. Yeah, dude, this is a 30-year-old toy, okay, 1984. You'll notice, once again, like there's a stamp on the bottom that says 1984. That doesn't necessarily mean that this pony came out in 1904. This one did. This is one of the first baby ponies, all right? But they reused molds quite a bit, and the molds have that stamp in them. So you can get a pony that was towards the end of the G1 run, but it'll still say like 1987 stamped on the bottom of the foot. You're like, no, this totally came out in like 1989. But because the mold was reused, you'll have the same thing.
How can you tell the difference?
Well, that just comes from being obsessive. There's actually a book, the My Little Pony Collector's Guide. It's mainly about G1s, and it is a comprehensive list of all the ponies that were available in the US versus the UK and Argentina and Ireland, blah, 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 blah. There are several pony websites, Ponyville.com and Pony Collector. I think it's ponycollector.com. They have just a list of, this is the year, these are the ponies that came out. Oh, you want to just search Pegasuses? Cool. Here's a list of all the Pegasus ponies. Oh, you just want to talk unicorns? Sweet skis, we got them. Oh, you want to talk about bride ponies? What year, son? We got them. Oh. So, yeah, there are several websites that that's all they do, is talk about which ponies came out what year and what the problems that people experienced. Sea ponies. I'd like to talk about sea ponies for a second, you guys, because I think they're hilarious. we've all seen the second My Little Pony, or the first My Little Pony movie, right? With the devil and he's petting a heart in a sack, and I'm like, we're going, what just happened? Did Cotton Candy just get turned into a dragon? She was crying when that happened. The devil just unleashed a black rainbow. He's like, precious, I'm like, I'm poor, okay? Jeez, I just wanted to watch a movie about ponies and suddenly Satan's there. What's going on? And apparently they brought him back. I haven't seen the latest episode, but apparently they brought back that character from the last episode. I'm like, yes! Bring this to my castle! Oh my god! Oh, so good. But, yeah, so sea ponies were awesome. If you got the adult sea ponies, they were made to be played with in the bathtub. Yay, bathtub, yay! And it was a My Little Pony head on a big, fat, tummied seahorse body. Yay! Pony, sea ponies and seahorse, yay! Shove the gear, ship, do. The big ones came with a clamshell that had a suction cup on the back, so you could go onto the side of your tub, so you could put your pony up when you were done playing with it. Yay! So it wouldn't just be hanging out in the water. The problem with the adult sea ponies is that they had a hole in the top of the head, so water could be let in and out, which was cool because if you had a swimming pool, you could like play with it until like you got enough water in there so it had like neutral buoyancy and would like float below the surface, and you could be like swimming in the water and there's your sea pony just hanging out with you. You're like, sup? She's like, I know, right? But the way they kept the pony floating the correct way in the water was a little ballast, which was a large metal ball in the bottom, just hanging out inside this pony, just living in the bottom of the pony near the tail. Once again, what happens when water hits metal? Rust. So you'll be playing in the tub, pony, and because it had a soft, squishy body and you could fill it with water, of course you're going to pretend it's a whale. So you're just hanging out, squirt gunning with your pony. Yes! Yes! You know, doing like dolphins. And then one day, it's going to happen, you fill it up with water, and you go, and what looks like blood shoots out the top of this pony's head. You're like, and your mom comes in like, what? You're like, and she sees you covered in rust water. She's like, what? You're like, you're squirting blood everywhere. And the pony's like, and all you see is that the top of your pony's head is spewing this terrible substance. So, like your mother does because she loves you and she wants you to be happy, and your mama would never do anything to hurt you or something you love. No, she takes a butter knife and she cuts off the head of your pony, like you do, pops that open, you're like, ah! Your mom's like, Jesus, this kid is weird. This all happened to everybody, right? And rinses the pony out, takes the tail, dumps upside down, that metal ball goes ka-tonk, and all you go is, it's landed! Clean off the metal ball, put it back in, put head back on the pony, hand it back to you. Go back in the tub. Nothing will ever be good ever again. Life just got scary. It's like the veil has been pulled back. Because no, the universe is terrible, frightening all the place. So that's the adult ones. The baby ones were cute. The baby ones were so tiny, and there was a little baby My Little Pony head, so you had your little mane, and it was all cute, and then it was on like a teeny tiny little seahorse body. Instead of a clamshell, what they came with were like little floaties, like they weren't that good at swimming yet. Oh my god, what? And you put them in their little floaties, which looked like little turtles and little fishes, and they just be like, so you got the swimming pool swimming around, like, what's up, baby pony? What's up? I have no control over where I'm going. That's cool. That's cool. Yay. So, and there were a couple of them that would change color with the water. So if you had a hot bath, your pony would change color. Come to find out, you cannot leave those in the sun. If you have any kind of color change toy, do not leave it in the sun. Because once you've left it in the sun too long, it stays that way. So I had this poor sea pony that I left in the sun, and her hair went all dry and gross and just not fun. Don't put them in chlorine, by the way, if you can help it. But like one side was exposed to the sun, the other side was in shadow, so I picked it up and it's like, oh crap. So one side's dark purple, the other side looks like she's got some kind of strange zebra stripe situation. I'm like, well, if I flip it over, maybe it'll happen to the other side. So she just lived with this strange organic stripe thing. I was like, yeah, camouflage. What time is it? Who's got the time?
5 after.
5 after? How long does this thing last? Till 30, right?
So, yeah, 2:30.
Sweet. Okay, cool. So don't leave your color change ponies in the sun if you don't have to, because that can lead to bad things. So I'm just talking about like G1s right now. Like I said with the tinsel, if you brush that tinsel, once it stretches, that's it, son. That's it. Once you've got a kink in that plastic, that's it, son. There's nothing you can really do. Do you guys have questions about your pony? Yes.
G1 ponies, the pony cancer, what do you do about that if it's in box?
Nothing. The best thing to do, if you've got a pony in box, unopened, leave it there. A, because it will keep, the box will help keep it from spreading to your other ponies. Just put it on a shelf and enjoy. Okay. If it's mint in box, you're probably not going to be able to tell if it has it. I mean, it needs to be like a really obvious, strange discoloration on the surface of the pony for you to be able to tell. But because it hasn't been exposed to that much fresh air, because it hasn't been exposed to sunlight, because it hasn't been exposed to human oils, we're not really sure what causes the pony cancer. Is the other thing. We have no clue why some ponies, why the mix on this vinyl worked and the mix on that vinyl didn't. We have no clue as non-factory workers why this is happening and it's not happening on this one. But if you notice it in the pony that's already mint in box, leave it mint in box because it will also keep it from spreading to the other ponies. Resale? Just be like, it has some discoloration, but it is mint in box. Somebody will buy it, I guarantee it. But don't take it out of the box, whatever you do. If you've got a pony from the 1980s that's still in the box, as loath as I am to say it because I believe all toys are meant to be played with, leave it in the box, dude. Leave that thing in the box. Go find one that's, had a haircut and re-roof that thing and play with that one, okay? But, yeah. All toys should be played with, though. It makes me sad when I see toys like the Barbie collectors who never take their dolls out of the boxes. I'm like, that is a sad doll. Sad doll. I'm gonna brush your hair. Yeah. I love ponies, man. My ponies, like I said, my collection of ponies led to my drawing comics about ponies, led to me becoming a professional mega artist. So, yeah, man, my favorite pony was a Wink and Blink baby pony, little baby unicorn, baby Gusty. So she had these blue eyes that bored into your soul. And yeah, she went on every adventure with me and she was cool and I loved her. What's up? I left her at my grandparents' house. I made a one-in poster and mailed it to them. They're like, damn it. Mailed me back my pony. I was like, yeah, what's up? And we had one of those, super not redneck at all above ground pools that you have that only last one summer, but like trash what part of the yard it was on kind of thing. We had one of those. And I had her on a frisbee, and we were doing swimming. I'm like, you're surfing, wee! You're surfing, wee! We're surfing, wee! And I said, okay, time you do something cool. So I put her down on those steps that go in and out. I was like, there you go, yay! And I'm swimming. So a little while later, I'm like, I'm gonna get Gusty again, yay! And I go over and I look, and she's not there. And I'm like, where's Gusty? Look down, and there's green hair all over the sand. I'm like following this trail of green hair, and I look up and there is our German Shepherd just I don't remember what happened at that point, but that dog would not come near me for about a month. She was like, nah, dude, nah. And my cousin's like, dude, we don't think you touched the stairs. You just went out of the water just like Superman. And oh God, and there was nothing I could do. There was nothing. Her tail was gone. The dog just ripped the tail out. Her horn had this giant slash right through it. She had teeth marks all over her. One of her eyes had fallen out, just completely gone. Her nose had a big chunk removed from it. All of her hair. I'm just in there desperately trying to make it, maybe fold it over, maybe, and I just remember being pulling out this 1970s electric razor my mom let me play with. Just went and just gave her a buzz cut. No. I put her on a little a Barbie doll bed and made a little IV for her. I'm and it just hit me that there's no way to save this. And back then there was no such thing as Amazon or eBay. There was no place. There was no way to get a new pony. My parents come home and they're expletive deleted, dude. This is gonna be rough. Out of all the hundreds of ponies this kid owns, for some reason she loves this one more than anything. I'm like, ah. And then one day I'm sitting there in my living room. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got 100 some odd blah 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 ponies. It's not good. None of them are Gusty. None of them are baby Gusty. What am I gonna do? And like I buried her in the backyard. I made a little coffin for her and I buried her in the backyard and I had a little flower and I had a little funeral for my pony. And I sit down in front of the TV, Saturday morning cartoons come on, suddenly Beetlejuice, the animated series. And I went, living dead pony. Ran outside, dug her up. I was like, you are now a zombie. So she became my favorite pony once again. She lived in Castle Grayskull. She hunted Barbie for fun. Oh, she was like undead. Nobody could touch her. She was just like, what's that? I was like, I've got a Beetlejuice pony. This is the greatest thing that ever happened. Oh my God. She still lives on the shelf in my office where I work every day. I look up, I'm like, stop. I've got pictures of her in Al Capone's cell in Alcatraz. This pony has gone on some adventures, and if it wasn't for that My Little Pony getting eaten by that German Shepherd, I probably would not be standing here talking to you guys. So, sorry, Comet. Didn't mean to make you sad. But yeah, dude, baby Gusty was looking for a word that's okay for family. She was the best. Oh, I wish I could swear. But yeah, dude, ponies. So, you know, you might come across a pony that looks like it is just beyond saving. You might come across a couple in bargain bins at shows that are just like, oh, look at it with a new eye. What can you do? Because these are ponies that are known as custom bait. Custom bait ponies. And they're ponies that, you know, may show a little like, you know, cancer might be forming on this thing. So yeah, you don't want to put it next to your other ponies, but I could have some fun with this thing. Why not? Why not give this guy a second chance at life? Yeah, maybe, you know, oh, this is a weird pony. It's got like this strange, you know, somebody left it in the sun. Its tail end is not the same color as the front end. I bet I could dye it. Heck yeah, go to the store, get yourself some Rit dye, mix up some purple or something, dunk that pony, and suddenly it's like bright red. You're like, yeah. just go nuts, you know, think about outside the box what you could do with these ponies that otherwise would be thrown away just because their hair is not so pretty anymore. Or maybe they're like missing a piece of their horn or something. Well, yeah, that's why God made silly putty, you know. But like, you know, saw off the horn or, you know, add a new one, you know. I mean, little modeling clay in there. If you take Sculpey, put the Sculpey in there to get the Sculpey to harden. Boiling water, tongs, put it in the boiling water for about 30 seconds, take it out, let it sit till it's dry, test it. If it's still a little tacky, put it back in for a little while. All right, cool beans. You've got yourself a nice hard surface, little sandpaper maybe, you know, just a little bit, you know, a little lacquer finish on that, maybe a little pearlescent sheen, maybe get a little glitter on that, maybe suddenly you got an $800 pony, one-of-a-kind original eBay, what's up? So, you know, think outside the box when you're looking at ponies that otherwise you would never touch, no. Maybe you want to make a Beetlejuice pony. Somebody made me a Beetlejuice pony, like the one I have as a print at my booth. Somebody was like, hey, I made you a present. And I was like, are you kidding me? And it is perfect. They made a Sculpey jacket for him, and it's got the sandworm, and it's got the teeth, and I'm just like, what? And it was a first gen pony that otherwise would have been thrown away. They're like, yeah, it was a unicorn. We just cut the horn off. I was like, what? Just, yeah, think outside the box if you want to, you know, look at older generation ponies. Any questions? Yes, sir.
You know, like how you pop the head off and there's like, yeah, you can like mix up the hair. Would pony cancer be on the inside of it?
You know, yes. There have been a couple times where I've gotten a pony that I'm like, sweet skinny big pony, what's up, custom bait? And I'll pop the head off and I'll like stick my finger in there because you want to stick your finger inside the head. I know. You stick your pinky finger inside the head and like run it along the seam where the hair was. So you make sure there are no like stray hairs or anything in there. And every now and then I'll be like, what's up? You know? And just feel, I'm like, oh, dude, cough. With the left, cough. Dude. Yeah, you got a pimple on the inside of your neck, dude. And that's not a good sign. Whatever, I'm gonna turn you into a Sailor Moon pony. I don't care! You know, if I were like trying to restore a pony, like an original pony, to like what it looked like when it came out the box, if I found something like that, I'd be like, I'd probably still continue the project and like just put it on my shelf and be like, you stand with the other cancer patients. You're so pretty now. Just because a pony does have pony cancer doesn't mean you can't love it, play with it, have a great time with it. Because remember, it took 30 years for this to develop, all right? It's going to take a very long time for it to like just be, gross, you know, toxic avenger. But you don't want those ponies to interact with ponies that are not showing signs of that, because it will jump from pony to pony. You need to have separate herds. And yes, they can hate each other, whatever. You know what? It's all good. It's all good. They can never cross each other's borders. Don't let that happen. In terms of like ponies that don't show any sign of cancer or anything, in terms of the ponies that you're collecting now, like the new generation ponies, it's okay to leave them on a shelf for a little while, but you want to be aware of any sort of direct sunlight that might be hitting them. You don't want that to happen. Also, you want to keep as much dust off them as possible. Two things about dust. Dust is mainly from us. It's shed skin cells, animal dander, things like that. And these things contain both oils and acids, and you don't want those oils and acids settling and making layers and interacting with the vinyl. You don't want to have to deal with that, because dust does degrade plastic over time, plastic and vinyl. So you want to keep the dust off as much as possible. For a long time I wanted to get one of those glass cases that, you know, you're supposed to put like fancy art objet, you know, and things like that in. And I was like, I just got to fill it with ponies. And my boyfriend's like, yeah, we're not doing that. So I've got a toy chest, yes, a toy chest that I've had since I was 8 years old, and it has my ponies in it, and it is airtight. I lined it with paper towels, like back in the 80s, so it has the same 80s paper towels, so the ponies are not touching up against any sort of particle board or anything. They're separated. The ponies are in individual little plastics. The ones that are showing cancer in like double plastics and in a separate container. But they are safe from light, and they are safe from dust, and that's why a lot of the ponies that I had in college were able to sell for more, because I kept them away from dust and away from light. In terms of displaying your ponies, you can get little like plastic covers at like Michael's for your ponies. You can get those for fairly inexpensive. You know, get a couple of those, and then something that looks like you got a collector's item instead of just a toy. I mean, you know, imagine this. It's like, okay, this is really cute and all. Imagine it with like, ooh, glossy plastic cover. Ooh, maybe make yourself a background and put it behind and be all like, what's up? So suddenly they look way fancier once they're in, something that will keep them safe. I know that it sounds harsh to be all like, you know, no, don't touch them, you know, put them on the shelf, don't ever touch them, no. But now, if you're collecting new ponies, get two. They're cheap, they're small. This is the size of the pony that you're buying now. $5 back in my day bought you one of those like larger princess ponies, right? And they had more hair, and they had cutie marks on both sides, and they had all kinds of cool things going on about them, and they had like tropical theme and rock and roll theme, and just the holiday theme. God, there are so many different kinds of ponies. This is the size of the ponies you get now standard. Hasbro. Cutie mark on the other side, look at that. So with the newer generation ponies, get two. Why not? I mean, get two. Get yourself, you know, a box and just put your other ponies in there. And who knows, 10 years from now you can be like, whatever, I don't even care. Bust them open. Hey, guess what? Past you just gave future you a present of crack pony. Dude, there is nothing like the smell of a new pony. Just crack. Oh God, that's the stuff. And my boyfriend's like, you're gonna do it, aren't you? I'm all like, don't you judge me. Oh yeah. So, good stuff. We're talking about collecting ponies. Oh, okay. So, what time is it? Who's got the time?
It's 3:20.
3 what?
3:20.
3:20? Okay, so we got 10 minutes. Let's do some more questions. You had a question? Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you could identify something for me. When I was a kid, we had a bunch of, you know, the G1 ponies, but in addition to it, we also had this strange pink bird thing.
Ah, that was Paradise Tales.
Ah.
The Paradise Tales were, I believe, also a Hasbro product. They were birds, and they came with little perch. They had weird. They had a tail that was hair. Is that what you're talking?
Yeah.
And it was like super long, kind of curly, and just a Paradise paradise tail, tropical paradise tails. Yeah, they were lame.
Oh, so these are something different.
Yeah, it was different. They were not associated with My Little Pony. It's like Littlest Pet Shop, versus My Little Pony kind of thing. It's, people go, oh, it's a kid's toy, it's a girl's toy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But they have nothing really to do with each other. But they look so similar. People want to lump them into that same group. Yeah, there were tons of those sort of things. Like, God, every week there was a new toy in the 80s. I'm like, we were spoiled kids. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you had a paradise tail, and it wasn't a My Little Pony, and they were kind of lame. Because all
Well,
they did
at the
was
same time though, I do have an interesting thing to that. In addition, I also had a pony that had like something on its back and it could clamp in, and the bird could clamp down onto it.
There were a couple ponies that were super cool. There were ponies that had a saddle on their back.
Oh, maybe that was with the
Keepsake
saddle.
ponies, and you had a special little key, and you turn the key, and the saddle would open up, and you could keep little treasures inside your pony, which I always thought was creepy, because that means your pony has hollowed out her back, and I'm like, no! But the saddles were really ornate and pretty, and there were carousel ponies that had carousel molding just all over them. They were so pretty. Curly-haired ponies. Why can't we get any like real good curl hair on ponies anymore? Dang it. With restoring ponies that had curly hair. With straight hair ponies, it's fairly simple. Like I said, use a little conditioner. That'll work out really well. But if you're gonna have like reroot a curly hair pony or try to save a curly hair pony, use conditioner on it first. Try to just follow the natural way it wants to curl with your finger and just let that sit the way it is. Then wash it out a little, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, and see if that curl sets. If not, keep doing that conditioner thing. But if you have to reroot or recurl a pony's hair, keep in mind that this is not hair. This is plastic. So if you've ever styled a wig, the exact same rules apply. Do not try to use a blow dryer, you will melt the plastic. Do not try to use a straight iron, you will melt the plastic. This is not human hair, it is plastic fiber. If you want to get tight curls, the best way I found to get a tight curl is actually to take a pencil, like a round pencil, not one with little edges like a number 2, but a round pencil, and get it wet, and loop it around, and then dip it into boiling water. Just a moment. Just pull it back out. Yeah, just a split second, and just kind of do this a couple times, and then pull it off of the pencil, and at that point you want to set it with like a little soft piece of plastic, like a little plastic wrap around the head. You're going to wrap this thing up like a mummy, because you're going to have to do this with every curl, but just a little bit of plastic wrap to hold it, and then just put it on a shelf and forget you had it for like 2 to 3 weeks. Come back, take it all off, suddenly ringlets. Now if you want to make like an afro and I'll poof it out, make Pinkie Pie just hair, at that point you pull out your little brush, you go whoop, 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 and then you brush it, and it goes poof, and you go yay, and then you just take your finger and make a few like individual curls, you go yay, done, yay. But man, that first set of ringlets is all so pretty. So yeah, ponies, dude. There were a set of ponies that came out towards the end that were called My Little Pony All Grown Up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I was insulted. And I was like, I'm 10 and I know what you're doing, Hasbro. So Barbie had come out with these these horses that Barbie could ride that looked like, My Little Ponies in their coloring and their hair. And Hasbro went, we can do that too. So they released these things, and they were just horses.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it just like Rugrats all grown up? No.
Yeah, kinda. Disturbing and not okay, and you can tell it's just a blatant cash in. It's like, no, I want nothing to do with this. Oh God.
Just like with Equestria Girls Monster High.
Oh God, yeah. I'm just, I saw Equestria Girls and I was like, that was cute and all that. I felt like I just watched a really expensive fan fiction.
Where's the second one? Are you planning on see the second one or no?
Probably. I mean, I have to, dude. I do way too many pony shows not to. But yeah, man, these ponies, and they all had like a gimmick, like the one with the Pegasus was actually really pretty because he had these massive wings. But if you try to like bend the wings, they would crack off. Thanks, Hasbro, thanks. There was one, a perfume princess, and she was really pretty, and she had this like raised cutie mark thing. And it turns out that you could turn it, swivel it, and inside was a little solid perfume. And I'm like, That is disgusting. Because what it looks like is that she has an open wound, all right, and there's some kind of pussy substance, all right. Gross. I am 10, and that is gross, all right. And yes, I had that attitude when I was 10. So I'll be in the toy store like, I don't think so. I don't think so. You know me. So yeah. So we've got like 4 or 5 minutes left. Any final questions people might have about collecting ponies? Okay, so what did we learn? Keep them away from the sun, keep them away from dust, take your cancer ponies, make sure they don't interact with your other ponies, put them in, another container over here. Don't be a snob about your ponies,
so
custom made those suckers. I'm sorry,
You
what?
don't want the meeting?
Yeah, what?
You don't want the meeting?
What meeting?
No, cancer.
Cancer ponies.
You came on the last minute.
You came in last minute, we talked about pony cancer earlier.
No, I'm saying because you said we keep them, we don't want to make them.
No, you cannot let your
Cancer-
cancer ponies
pony
touch
cancer
your regular
Yeah.
ponies. You cannot let them.
Oh.
It will jump from pony to pony.
Oh, so they can't be.
No, you have to have separate herds, dude, and never can the twain meet. Never. Oh no. Because there is no cure for pony cancer, and nobody knows what actually causes it. So keep them away because it will jump from pony to pony. That's all we know is that it will spread. So so keep away from the sunlight, separate the cancer ponies. Don't be a snob though, because they can be super fun if you want to make a custom. Because the value of customs is really relative to how much fun you had making them. There are a couple people who are artists who make custom ponies, and that's a whole nother thing there, making art ponies. But yeah, if you want to make a pony of your favorite anime character or comic book character, a pony that has cancer pony, that's a second life. That pony might have otherwise never got. So, root through those bins, man. Go for it. Find some like gross ponies that are missing bits and be like, yeah, man, missing an ear? Heck yeah. Walking Zen pony. Hell yeah, cool. Make some zombie ponies. Go nuts. There's a couple of bootlegs. If you're ever at dollar stores, you'll notice there are a lot of things that have this exact same shape of a Hasbro My Little Pony, but are definitely not from Hasbro up in the dollar store. Dude, custom made. Make a couple changelings. What's up? Spray paint them black. Yeah. So have fun with ponies. Be aware that the environment you keep them in will affect them. Don't smoke around your ponies. Don't do that. Don't do that. But have fun. Collect your ponies. Don't brush that tinsel. And if you have, too bad for that tinsel. So thank you for coming, you guys. Go forth, have fun, collect, and I'll be doing another panel at 7 o'clock tonight. Yeah!